details. And we begin this news bulletin with security-related matters because the Inspector General of Police, Sidi Maktar Toure, on Tuesday commissioned a new double-cabin pickups for the Gambia Police Force, GPF, at police headquarters in Banjul. According to the Police Communication Office, the vehicles supplied by Assad Investment and TK Motors were a part of the government's effort to enhance the GPF's capacity to maintain peace and security nationwide. The Police High Command commended the government for the gesture and said this effort reflects the Gambia government's commitment, or the police commitment rather, to strengthen law enforcement as part of its broader transformative agenda. And of course, we should be talking to the public relations officer of the Gambia Police Force for more, of course, details on this development. And Piero Sisao joins us on the line now. Thank you very much, Piero, for joining us. Now, tell us how significant is this vehicle donation to the Gambia Police Force in your quest to maintain law and order in the country?
Thank you very much. I think this is a very, very important milestone in the history of the Gambia Police Force. And I'm aware, I'm not saying this is the first time, but it has been a while since the government, the central government, supports the Gambia Police Force with vehicles. And this is a step in the right direction. And I think this is the beginning of many, having to provide 9 vehicles to support the operation capability of the Gambia Police Force. This is really going to enhance our operations across the country. I know already it's not a secret now that the Gambia Police Force has been suffering with respect to transportation. Many times people complain that you go to a police station and you'll be informed that there is no vehicle here. And if there is even a vehicle, sometimes they'll say there is no fuel. So it's like people who come to complain are the very ones who would either have to buy fuel or they have to ensure that mobility is provided for them to go and make effect arrest on complaints or respond to their needs. And I think that is with the step that we have taken, the Inspector General of Police has taken a very, very advanced step towards this and is doing everything. I think it's one of his action points to ensure that the transportation system, the vehicle issue of the Gambia Police Force is resolved. And I think this is a manifestation of that. This is just one. And I know in the very near future, we will also commission other vehicles which are hopefully on the way coming. And until then, we will also disclose that. But at the moment, it's just to tell you that the leadership of the Gambia Police Force to the Inspector General of Police is ensuring, doing everything possible to ensure that the issue is resolved, is mitigated. So we are working with stakeholders and partners, and we are aware mostly, even in the recent past, we had donations from the Gambia German training support team that supported the Gambia Police Force with vehicles, especially mobile traffic and with motorcycles and other equipment. And the Turkish also had supported the Gambia Police Force. This is what we've been receiving. But this time it's a different dimension. The central government itself supporting the Gambia Police Force with 9 vehicles. And this includes what they call Land Cruiser, Toyota Land Cruiser. We would call them Buffaloes. That's how we call them here. We also have L200, about 7 of them. And in the speech of the Inspector General of Police, these vehicles will really enhance our operational capacity, and it will be distributed, or they will be distributed across the 7 regions of the Gambia. Okay. Meaning that at least minimum we will have operational vehicles, new operational vehicles to support the already existing ones, and where there is none, at least there would be one for the meantime to support operations. So actually it's not for command vehicle what they say, okay, it's for the leadership, it's for operations. It's to ensure that vehicles are available for officers to go on patrol, for officers to respond to emergencies, and I know people say it's just 1 vehicle or 2 vehicles, but again, at least a step taken. And I think, this is something that is a welcome gesture from the government. We are appreciative, and we are working with the government also to get more of this, and also with our stakeholders and partners to ensure that the lack of vehicles in the Gambia Police Force is a history.
All right. Yes, Piero, I was going to ask that. Of course, you have, as you just mentioned, the vehicle support came at the right time. But as the communication officer of the police, do you think the men and women of the country's police still need more support from the government to properly execute their duties or responsibility?
Yes, that's obvious. That's obvious. I mean, come on. This is the Gambia Police Force, and the Gambia Police Force is directly under the government of the Gambia, because it's the government's responsibility to ensure that security of this country, especially internal security. The mandate, or one of the mandates of the Gambia Police Force, is to protect life and property. And by extension, this is the government's responsibility. So, by the establishment of the Gambia Police Force, this mandate is given to the force to ensure that life and property of every Gambian and anyone who is in the Gambia is protected. So therefore also it is the mandate, it is the responsibility of the government to ensure that the Gambia Police Force is fully equipped with the necessary equipment and logistics to ensure. Yes, we are aware, we know the challenges as a nation, what we have already in general, we have our challenges. But with all those challenges, I think it's important that the government, they came in and chipped in and support that part, because they have established, they are paying our salaries, they are paying our logistics and all that. But also, we understand that they can be overwhelmed. But this is a historic moment for us. We can't remember when last this happened. So it happening now is just a commitment or the affirmation of the government's commitment for the transformation of and the reform of the Gambia Police Force, to ensuring that the Gambian people are safe, and supporting the Gambia Police Force to do that. Yes, this support came at the right time.
All right. Of late, of course, we have understand or realized that there have been several, criminal activities reported in different parts of the country. Now, did the police high command already decided who are going to benefit from these vehicles, and is it going to be decentralized?
Yes. According to the speech of the Inspector General of Police, is that these vehicles will be distributed across the country. Every region would have a vehicle minimum. So, meaning that is to support the already existing. It doesn't mean that there are no vehicles within the regions. There are not. That's false. But again, we understand that it is going to enhance. The more we have, the better we can be able to respond within time. Because when people are in emergency, you wouldn't say, okay, the vehicle is at that place. When it comes back, we respond to you. So, and I think this is important, timely, because we are asking for the public to support us in terms of giving us information before the commission of criminal activities. So, if the community is doing that, people are doing that, then it is also incumbent upon us also to respond to them, actually timely response, to prevent. Because what is important in policing is prevention. Because prevention is better than, we say prevention is better than cure. So if something happens, it's better for us to prevent it from happening instead of going to solve it, to be able to do the investigation. It's more expensive. And I think the Inspector General of Police have highlighted that these vehicles are really going to enhance operations. The more we prevent crime, we're going to ensure that the resources that should have been put in place to prosecute criminals, to take them to court, and not only that, also even to take them to prison. The government is going to spend more money in all that. But the more we prevent, it means that the government is going to help the government from spending that money in that area, and also diverting it to areas that are more relevant at the time. And I know every aspect of government is relevant because it has to deal with the livelihood of the citizens. So this is why I think this time the government has prioritized the vehicle logistics support the Gambia Police Force, not only leaving it with partners and stakeholders. And I am sure most of those equally are with the support of the government, because these are bilateral, especially at the strategic level and policy level, where nations and partners and stakeholders, would have agreement and support the Gambia government. Okay. And you're already aware of the security sector reform that is ongoing, and part of the security sector reform is also to reform the Gambia Police Force to ensure that it is fit for purpose. And that reform agenda at the moment, the Inspector General of Police is championing that, not just being on paper, but to ensure that it's practical, to ensure that it is possible, and also to tell the people that reform of the Gambia police force is ongoing, in addition to training, but also logistics. Yes, and I am sure in the near future we would see more of this thing happening.
All right.
So the government of the Gambia would say, thank you very much. The Inspector General took the opportunity to express appreciation to His Excellency, the President Adam Barrow, the Minister of Finance, and other ministries that were involved in this, the National Assembly, especially the Select Committee on Security and Defense. But more especially, he emphasized the support of the Deputy Speaker, C.D. Njai, in ensuring that the government is able to support the Gambia police force with this.
All right, PRO, it seems like we somehow going to summarize this one. Finally, of course, as you look forward to more government support, and apparently the challenges are becoming more enormous, but any word of advice to the public, especially in their collaboration with the police, in 30 seconds, if you may, please.
I think this is important because in as much as we are having the logistics, the Gambia police force can't work in isolation. We can't work without the public because it's the public that we are serving. On a daily basis, we have people coming to our police stations to report. On a daily basis, our officers are interacting with people on their visibility patrol. On a daily basis, our officers, traffic officers are interacting with drivers, whether commercial or private. So this is important. It's important to note that we can't go without the public. We are urging the public to be patient enough with us, for them to understand that we are their service, but also it's important for them to understand that we have a responsibility. And part of that responsibility is to provide service. And sometimes we cannot be able to provide service that we don't know about. Meaning that if there is any possibility or there are indications that there will be criminal activities or there are criminal activities, we would appreciate if we are informed on time. And I know sometimes it's difficult to do this because then we would say, which number are we calling? And I'm sure most people would call my number and the anti-crime number. And we want to encourage people to do this until when we are able to complete and have our emergency system up and running.
All right, thank you.
And we would continue to do that.
All right. Well, PRO, Cadet ASP Modu Musasi Saho, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.